Cool, Anne. So welcome to the Cool Girls Club. Thank you so much for having taken the time to do this interview. So you're all the way from Australia.
That's right, yeah.
And these are very interesting times as well. So we're doing this interview in the midst of coronavirus, the wave, the monster. So Anne, the reason why you're here today is because you have a very interesting journey. You run your own marketing company called Suits and Sneakers, but you didn't always have your own business. You've had some wild personal journey and challenges that led you to start your own business. So tell us who you are, what you do, what's your background.
I did start in advertising agencies many years ago, and I was head of television production. Actually, by the time I was 21, I was running about 20 million worth of production for big brands. I sort of got quite senior early. Then I moved and grew within the industry. And pretty much though, I've gone across every part of the industry now, including I had a film company for a little while. I work in research on the client side in the marketing department. I've been a business coach as well for other creative agencies and businesses. And then I went client side to the marketing department of a big automotive company. And that was probably the moment when I went, that was like the worst mistake I ever made. Corporate, I'm so not a corporate person. And in every job that I've had over the years, I've had either some kind of gender bias or discrimination of some kind. And I got really fed up with it. That's really the motivator for me going out. It's just over 2 years now. That's when Suits and Sneakers was born. And I decided to open it up because a lot of the best talent were just not in agencies anymore. They're sort of pushing the scale of the talent down, and they're bumping up the timesheets. And so the really good talent's getting lost. And I just one place where everyone could be found. And no gender bias, no discrimination of any kind. You're chosen for the job based on skill, and that's completely
your whole experience of gender bias. Obviously there's you as a woman and just experiencing that in the world, I'd guess mostly in the corporate world, but also you as a mother having 2 kids and actually one of them becoming transgender, emphasizing even more your experience of gender bias and wanting to create space for everyone. What was your experience of this?
I've been through quite a lot of gender bias, but that is nothing to the experience that a trans person is experiencing. Like they're, starting to be made feel that there's a place here on the world, but there's still a lot of people who aren't very accepting or kind, and they mean well, but it's ignorance as well. So I think that I've got a particular interest in unconscious bias because it's sort of like a discrimination when you don't mean it. It's not like it's mean and you're, trying to harm anybody intentionally, but you do say and do stupid things because you just didn't know any better. And so, to answer your question, I feel like I've made heaps of mistakes over the years as well. And so I had a little girl who assigned a girl at birth, and all through the early years I used to think, God, I've got a tomboy here, she's really amazing at football and she's like out there on the oval, and there was all that going on, and jumping motorbikes and BMX bikes and all that sort of adventure, a real adventure kid. And I remember that we were over the dinner table one night, and the young one was saying to the older one, oh, you're so gay, like telling him off about something. I was like, hey, no one in this house does that. What are you talking about? I said, if anyone's gay in this house, it's you. And this kid goes, oh, actually, no, I'm not gay, Mum. I'm non-binary transgender. And in my head, I go, what?
What?
I was like, I have no idea what that is. Yeah. And then outwardly, though, I said, so tell me more about that. And thankfully, that's what I said outside. So from
how old was she when she dropped the bomb?
14, 15, somewhere there. So yeah, that was like, quite surprising. And so I guess then we've been on a journey to learn more, and for him to actually figure out what he is. He's gone from being complete sort of non-binary and fully realised now he's actually identifies with being a man. Most people wouldn't know when he's walking in the street now, so it's quite good for him to feel that he fits in the world the way that he fits him. Yeah, it did take some adjustment, but I think it's your own child. How could you not care and love them? Of
course,
they are. Yeah, but there are people who really have struggled, and people who are struggling with whether they should come out or not too. It isn't an easy journey, but I think you do have to be true to yourself. Yeah,
I think so. I think when you are true to yourself, you allow everybody else to be true to themselves. I think some people are scared that their true self is bad or wrong, is a bad person. But really, when you get it really in touch with who you truly are deep down, you'll realize that actually you don't mean no harm. You just want to be yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you, and I feel like even for myself as a woman, there are things that you don't even accept of yourself as you grow up, and there gets to be a day when you go, yeah, that's me, and I'm just okay with that sort of thing. So it's really challenging, even more so when you have something that people don't really put you in a certain box. So it can be really challenging, but I am everything. I'm so 100% behind everything you say. At the same time, I understand how hard it is to actually do that as well. So I'm quite activist in getting rid of stereotypes in Australia, in all our media. We're behind the UK because it's actually a law now for the UK, which I'm so excited about. So I'm fighting the government organisations here and health systems and everything to get this changed, because I feel like a lot of this there's no doubt now it's linked with violence and a lot of terrible things happening to people. You did ask me before about coping strategies for some of these challenges. Like it has been challenging, but not like there was any issue with me or my child, but there's things where sort of you have to figure out. And as a parent, I really was worried. I've had a lot of worries with my child, because they can be really upset for a while they're trying to figure it out, and I think I'd encourage people to really talk about it and give it a good flesh out and say anything you say should be okay to be said, even and there's no harm. Like some people I've seen, it's not like we all live in boxes. So it's not like there's the girl box and the boy box, and then there's a box in the middle for people who don't fit in either of those boxes.
Yeah.
It's actually quite a line. And so you might go, am I here or am I there? Or, actually, yeah, I'm here. And then after a little while, you know, maybe I'm creeping back here. It can be challenging for people when they think they've got to be in a certain box. And once they've said it, that's it. So I'd encourage to just go, you know what, just try out the spectrum.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's like being in this really, really tight little box as an atom jumping around. And then when the box is gone, it feels like you're going, ooh, like this for a bit. And then you go, okay.
Then you settle.
Yeah.
How did the personal challenges and experiences related to having a transgender kid influenced your business decisions and professional life? I
think also as a woman, like I got resigned to the fact that I could never get up, and so I got my intellectual stretch by going sideways, and so it's made me very diverse now, and so I suppose I've turned into a good thing. Actually, my children one of the things we did to sort of make the best of this, lots of challenges, is we wrote a book together. That's my son's, older son's illustration. It's called From the Chaos, Insights for Life, Difficult Moments. And he was in Year 9 when he did those illustrations, and they're actually really cool. And we're using it to raise money for people with post-traumatic stress disorder, which I experienced myself from domestic violence in the past. You know, my son still has people that refuse to call him a he, you know. So
wow. Okay.
And he used to be so hurt by that, but now he just goes, they're an idiot, you know. I think that's actually really exciting to see him become so comfortable in himself that it doesn't matter what other people think.
Sometimes I feel resentful and sad or angry for some of the experiences that I've had in the past. And someone one day told me, well, Chloe, but don't you understand that, you know, the very thing that you're doing today with the Cool Girls Club and coaching women and empowering them actually comes from your experience of being in an abusive relationship. You think you lost, but actually you won because you got out. You made something from that. As a mother, as a human being, as a person who has been conditioned to think a particular way, to think about genders in terms of boxes, how did you overcome that? Were they actual things that you did? Like, did you go to the therapist, or did you go to a family therapist, or did you get a coach? No, what did you do?
Over the years, I felt like going to a psychologist was not helping our family, and actually talking through all the bad stuff just embeds you in it. And
absolutely.
And
I agree with that, actually. Yeah.
Feeling important and significant for it. And if you go to support groups, then everyone just wants to complain and you know, to validate each other, and you just get stuck. And so I actually trained to become a life coach myself, because I felt I needed the skills.
The next question, which I feel now is a little bit controversial, given that we're talking about transgender, is what is a cool girl now? Now I don't know anymore, because a cool girl is not going to be, you know, can also not be a girl.
If I had to pick one thing, it would be that you know your purpose that you're here on the earth for. And that you are doing everything you can to like make the best of that. I've noticed a lot of really quite purpose-driven women in your network there, and I think personally that's what makes somebody cool to me. Yeah.
Purpose is being who you truly are in the world, and being the full expression of yourself in the world.
Yeah. Like I feel really proud of my kid that he's found that between 15 and 19.
Yeah.
And you know, if you can help other people find that, you know, earlier in
the younger
20s,
the better.
The younger the better. And even as a kid, like I used to say to my kids, like I just knew that they had this one thing that drove them. Really.
Do you want to tell very quickly where people can find you?
My company is Suits and Sneakers, and I have all freelance talent all around the world that are the best at what they do. So that's suitsandsneakers.global. So we've got UK people, we can help anything. But the one thing that's really is a passion at the moment is to raise money for people who've got mental health problems from thechaos.net.
Awesome.
And you can help me with the book or a donation or something, and we're changing the world one little book at a time.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. This was very interesting. That's it.
Thank you.
Over. This is a wrap.